PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of Evelyn's Roundtable is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Evelyn's Roundtable. This podcast highlights a host of relevant topics. Our conversations share voices of women of color, Black women veterans and veterans, allies, candidates, and elected officials, entrepreneurs, teachers, students, and others. We also explore important issues and challenges such as grassroots leadership, job training, homelessness, and mental health advocacy, accountability, male inclusion, and civics. Our mission statement is to empower all women. Do you hear me? All women to hold hands as we rise. Well, hello, everyone out there listening to Evelyn's Roundtable. Appreciate all of you that are listening to us, and thank you PR Connections for hosting and helping out with Evelyn's Roundtable. So tonight we have David, and David, I just want to thank you for being on here.
No problem.
And I know we're going to get into some discussions because we got some pretty good topics that we're going to talk about. And being also that you are a college student and working on your career and also working part-time and also dealing with all the other challenges that come with life, right?
Yes.
So could you please just give us a brief of who you are? Could you do that, please?
Yes. So my name is David. I do have an artist name. It's called Zion King. And I would like to further my career within graphics design. So with being in school, it's going to help me sharpen up my skills to set me up for my next chapter in life.
Wow. And that was just interesting that you even said that. You know, a lot of people don't think that far down the road, right? But I think we're in a time where you got to think down the road. You cannot just think right now, this minute. It's like right now, this minute is not good for a lot of people, right? And you need to think about your career. You need to think about where you're going to be at, because a lot of time, even with interviewing, right? Some ask you that, well, what are you going to do? Or what are you thinking about 5 years? Where are you going to be in 5 years, right? And I used to think, well, what are you talking? Now I'm like, oh, okay. Because you kind of need to go there, right?
Yes.
Where are you going to be at? And you are currently going to school where?
I'm going currently to school at CSN. It's the community college that's in Las Vegas. College of North Las Vegas would be of Southern Nevada will actually be the name, but in abbreviations, it's called CSN, Community College.
Right. That means that's the Cheyenne campus.
Yes.
And how long you been going there?
I've been going there for 1.5 years now. I transferred from the Cheyenne campus to the North Las Vegas because of the base of graphic design and artistry is more, for me, a foundation. So I was able to transfer from Charleston to North Las Vegas campus because there's 3. There's also another one out in Henderson. So depending on the campus, depends on what you're actually going to school for. And there's certain type of, I would have to say, workshops and spaces that you're able to actually own your craft. So I have a better foundation at North Las Vegas because I am going to school for graphics design and I
What
specialize in that.
so what made you do that? Was that something you've been already thinking about, or yeah, tell us that please. What made you
So,
go down that road?
so for me to transfer schools, it was I came to a realization that for me to know what the job is like, I have to be in the atmosphere. Charleston is more of a medical based campus. So when you walk around the halls, it's more of a medical hospital type of feel. I was recommended by career advisor that every campus has their specialties and what students are going to school for. And I went to an event at North Las Vegas. It was like a side hustle expo of a lot of entrepreneurs. And when I went in there, just the atmosphere and just the environment, I'm like, this is more me. Just seeing the art around the campus, certain, I would have to say, students fit the way when I went to school with your laptops, with your sketchbooks. So I felt more at home being at North Las Vegas when I went to that event. I said, you know what? For me to really, really learn more, I have to be in that environment. It doesn't make sense for me to try to split and be in an environment because I'm not going to school for anything in the medical field. So that's why it kind of made it easier for me once I finished out my last semester at Charleston, just to make that easy transition. Because now, if I need any assistance in anything in graphics design, there's more than enough places I can go to, people I can talk to, workshops, events, class. Whether I take morning classes or evening classes, everything is right there at the North Las Vegas campus.
So that's interesting that you say that too, because I never knew that what you just said about the different the different campuses. Yes, there's three, but the things are going on at the campuses. I
Yes.
never would have thought about that way. And matter of fact, I haven't even never even heard of it being said the way you just said it. I just thought, you go to college because you're in that area, you live by that area, and that's what you do. But you're saying something totally different right now. That there's, I'm not probably not saying that I mean, like you couldn't do things that you want to do, but they cater to those certain things in those campuses.
And skill sets, yes. So one of the other situations, I wouldn't really call it a situation, but one of my hurdles I kind of had to go through was when it came to tutoring. I went to the tutoring center. There was no tutors for graphics design. And I'm like, so I'm going to school. I kind of need assistance. I understand that a lot of things are online, but I'm a face to face, learn as I go type of person, especially being something that's new. Because it's easy to make adjustments when you have another voice right next to you compared to you watching. Some people learn in different ways, but for me, when it comes to something new, I like to be hands on. That means if I have a question, there's somebody right in front of me that I can adjust on the fly. Because in the field, I have to be my own independent artist within graphics design. There are a few limitations, but in the meantime, I'm not there yet, if that makes any sense. So when I went and they didn't have any tutoring, that's when I kind of found out the different campuses, they have different tutors based off of what you're going to school for. So when it came to certain regular math, reading, English, majority of tutors are able to help in those areas. When it comes to graphics designers, anything that has to do with artistry, North Las Vegas has outside of tutorers different workshops or resources that you can actually learn the skill set. For Charleston, it's a medical. So when you go into one of the buildings, everything looks like a hospital. They have hospital rooms. So the atmosphere is like if you was a nurse, a doctor, when it comes to dentist, anything within the medical field, you was actually in that environment. Those tutors was able to guide you to sharpen your skill sets if you was going to school for in the medical field. I'm not going to school to be a medical assistant. So there was certain tips that they was trying to give me that I wasn't comprehending that, because even though we both use computers, we're typing in two different types of information within the system. That was like my, I would have to say, reality check. I have to go to a base or have to go to a campus that it will help me understand what I'm getting into, being in that environment. And if there's any other resources when it comes to tutoring, at least I can at least get more of a direct answer compared to somebody just helping me and just going with the flow. For me, that's not going to help me out. But everybody learns in different ways. So
Yes. I have to agree with you on that. And when I have my class with the pipeline program, and I say the same thing, because you're right. We all learn different. And some of us learn in different ways too. Some of us learn both ways, right? Like me,
right,
I can sit on the computer too, but I also like to go see things, touch things too, right? And it's
right.
almost, I call it, I don't know, to me it's like a puzzle piece, right? You,
Hmm.
you put the connections together. Yeah, we can do it on the computer, that's no problem, but it's still nothing like sitting in front of someone, right, face to face, or going to that location to see how you do that or how they put together. Even though we looked on the computer on it and it
Right,
showed us how to put it together, right? It showed us how to do that, but ain't nothing like, again, sitting right there, and then that aha moment happens, right?
right.
That I call it the light bulb. The light bulb
Yes,
goes off. It's almost, to me, it's an aha moment, but it's the light bulb that goes flick. And you're like, oh my gosh, okay, now I get it. Now I know why we did that. Now I know why we talked about that. Now I know this. So I have to totally agree with you, that everyone learns different. Everyone teaches different too. You
yes,
know, that's something else too. Um, so what are Because I know. Oh, and you're working too, correct?
yes, yes. So I work in private security, and what also helped me kind of want to know exactly what my skill sets were was a lot of the conventions. I worked as a security officer on the opposite side, protecting the products, protecting the people that were well established within their career. Certain events, I actually had to just make sure that everything was nice. So that kind of motivated me more to be like, I don't want to be a security officer at this event. I want to be in the event. So getting back into school was also a motivation for me that I don't have to do something that just pays the bills. I can actually do something that actually can help out people and turn that into a career as a graphics designer. So it actually helped me kind of be more, I would have to say, serious. Because if you're paying for school, you got to know exactly what you want to do. To me, you're wasting time when you're just going to school just to do it to say that you got a degree. There's a lot of people that have degrees, but they're not working what they went to school for. And I didn't want to do that either, because the next 10, 15 years, computers is going to be more advanced. So I'd rather get into the field now, because who knows? There's a lot of jobs that it's going to be you touching the screen. May have to touch your hand because It's going to be bouncing off of your hand in 3Ds. You don't know. We're starting to transition into a new wave of life. Why not get into that field now? So whatever the times adjust to, I at least will have the foundation. And who's to say that I'm going to stay in graphic design? I may have to build an app. I may be able to build a infrastructure for new casinos that's about to be made. So I have a very wide range of getting a solid job within graphics design. I don't have to stick to just graphic design. There's so many options I can choose from once I actually graduate from school. So I'm also excited for that as well.
Yeah, and it's something else you said that was really important too. You said career,
Yes.
right? That's like that's it right there to me. Again, I'm going to go back to what I do of helping women get into trades, and that's one thing I always say. A career is different than a job, everybody. So everybody that's listening, a career is different than a job. Two different things, right? That we're
Yes.
talking about here. And that's interesting that you would say that. And then the other part though, working. Oh, do you go to school? Do you have a full boat? A full boat, you know what a full boat is. So
Yes.
you have a full boat, and everybody don't know what that means. That means 12 to 15 credits. That's a full boat, y'all. Um,
Yes.
so you have a full boat,
I do.
and you're working
Full
too.
time. Yes.
Wow. 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 Do you sleep?
I do. The good thing about my job, depending on the site, I'm able to get extra breaks. So I'm not just working a full shift outside of your 2:15s and a 30. Depending on the site that I'm at, I can take 15 breaks, 15-minute breaks every hour because it's starting to get hot outside as well. So not everything is inside. So that's another benefit that I like. And also I bring a book or I'm listening to content. They do allow you sometimes to use your phone as long as you have one headset in. So I'm learning as I'm on the job to also make sure that when I am in school that I'm on my P's and Q's. So it ties in with one another because taking reports and using your phone and using your iPad within security, it kind of helps me out because when it comes to the templates, I had to create a template on if I had to train somebody the layout of the site. So it actually helped. So it kind of, I found a way to bridge it. I don't think that they're separate because I'm learning within security how to manage, how to work under pressure, how to be a team player, how to work by myself. And then graphics design, you take out the security, it's pretty much the same layers of you becoming successful. So I don't really think that it's taken away. I think that it's just a mirror of each other. That's the way that I try to live it because I am in that double life, school and work.
Yeah, because it's it's independence, and it's in like you just said, right?
Yes.
Can you work by yourself? Do you always got to have somebody in your, and that brings me back to the military, me being in military,
Hmm.
going in the military, whoop whoop for army, y'all. But we had to learn how to be independent. It wasn't a factor of, okay, go do what you're supposed to do, then come back. No, it doesn't work like that. It's drill sergeant, give us what you want us to do, and we go do it. But it's that independence, because not everybody can do that either, and
No.
I think you really know that. Even probably with those that you work with, right? We're not going to
Yes.
call out anybody or anything, but I'm sure you're
No.
seeing that not everybody that you work with can be working independent. It's almost like they got to be told what to do all the time. They can't do this. They can, and it's kind of interesting because this is that's almost a craft in itself too, is to
Right.
work independently, correct?
Yes. And then also the biggest thing that I kind of got from both, I would have to say, fields, learning how to deal with people.
Mm.
There's going to be times where you can have a plan, and I think you can relate to this too, having a military background. There may be certain type of plans, and then there's going to be changes right there in the middle of what you was just told to do. You have to learn how to adjust in a less than a millisecond, but also protect what you're doing. So let's say for you, if you had a mission, you have to protect that mission if something changed. Like me, if I'm working on a project, I have to save that project, may have to start over, or may have to make adjustments on the fly. Same thing in security. Whether I'm with a team or whether I'm with a group of people, certain things happen. I have to learn my safety comes first, protect what's around me, protect innocent people, all in a millisecond, and don't have no time for error. And those are three different fields, three different layers, but you have to learn how to adjust on the fly, even if you don't have time to process it. And that's what I can learn because depending what you do, sometimes can be high demand. There's no time for sleep, ain't no time for complaining. You're gonna have to do what you're told to do and complete the mission. For me,
Mm.
it's to complete the project. So two different I would have to say atmospheres, but the same goal.
Yeah. I call it the football term, the deke move.
Yes.
You got to do the
Yeah.
deke because you don't know. And
Right.
and again, not everybody can do that. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Not everybody can do the deke move. Not everybody can adjust in the middle of things. And 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 a lot of people can't do it, and it throws them off, or they don't complete the mission, or they don't even return for the mission because they can't adjust like that. And
Right.
it stresses people out sometimes, and there's a whole lot that goes with that. Which leads me into about school. Because I know there's things that you got to pay for in school.
Yes.
And it's not included in your grant, or the money you're working and all that. I mean, there's some things that you're probably thinking, wow, this would be this would be nice if this was different. Are there any of those things that you can think about off the top of your head, that any type of things that you would like to see changes in, with college, or to help you better to go to college, or be in a college, or to get housing, or to help with food, or anything like that? Is there any maybe there's more than one thing that you can think about? I don't know.
For me, one of the things that I wouldn't call it frustrating, but it was a disappointment. When I was trying to get assistance, especially with the graphics design, the tutoring, there was no tutors. I had to create a club from scratch from graphics design. And even though that UNLV and CSN work amongst each other, and I think Nevada State too, they're three separate institutions. So even me going to North Las Vegas as well, unless you're a part of a club or unless they have a tutor, you kind of have to do your own research. So for me, I had to go on a library like North Las Vegas libraries, public libraries, to take online resources to learn. I also had to go on YouTube. I also had to learn from a Windows and also a Mac OS. On top of me learning the information in school. And I just kind of wish that there were more accessible resources within the institutions because social media and a lot of platforms are accessible. But if nobody doesn't create it, how is somebody able to utilize it? So a lot of
Mhm.
people are able to work online. I would think that they would have something within the CSN institution online. I don't know if it's going to be a 24-hour database, but a certain time frame that if you needed any assistance within what you're going to school for, there's people that are certified to assist you and you have access. You don't have to go outside of the institution to learn A to D. So that was the only kind of disappointment that I had to go online. I had to go to the public library outside of the CSN to get that information just to be able to understand the things that I was learning in school. It was a
Wow.
little bit frustrating because of the time. I'm working full time and going to school full time. So that's extra time I have to put in. So I'm working and I'm working and I'm going to school as I'm going to school on top of that. So that's the only thing. I just wish that there was more resources within institutions that are more accessible because we are in that modern day time frame. Apps, online resources that you're able to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's other people that may want to be able to do something like that, but they have to have support and it has to make sense. And I think that's probably another reason why there aren't things like that because of the support. Why am I going to sacrifice my time and energy and money to provide a service and not get positive reciprocation back? It's the only thing that I can think of.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? You would think now in the times that we're in that they would have um, tutors and resources for all the classes, right? Not just some of the basic class. I call them the basic English, math,
Yeah, right.
sociology. They have those are the basic classes that you take. And how long do you have to go to school for in order to get your degree? That's something we haven't
I
talked about.
have another year and a half. It's an associate, so it's 2 years and a half. So I have another year and a half to go. I am planning to at least get something like whether it's an internship before I graduate, so it can help me understand because the second semester, which is actually be my third, that's when I actually will be taking the courses that if I had a job, career job, this is what I actually would be doing. Adobe, Photoshop, working on Windows, working on Mac OS, maybe somewhat of photography, um, painting, drawing, sketching. Because not everybody does everything on the computer either. There's a lot of artists within the field that they sketch out their work before they actually put it into the computer and you're able to scan it. So there's so many other avenues that people actually have to either learn or be talented in to be successful. Because there's a lot of graphics designers. So you have to separate, you have to have a signature style. So with my internships, once I start applying for more of them, I should be able to create my signature style. So the time that I graduate, I have my style, I have my knowledge, and I'm able to be a successful graphics designer within my career.
Yes, and do tell us um, about how you're helping and you help with websites.
Yes, so my artist name is Zion King. My business is called Artistry Ave. I'm able to create logos, t-shirts, websites, obituaries. I also am able to create brochures. And I definitely want to dive deeper into the field, like when it comes to vigor, video photography, social media, or content creator. So right now, anything that's kind of on a smaller scale, I'm able to give my out my email, my social media, my Instagram page, So when it comes to certain things that people are maybe looking for, I'm able to provide that information. So I don't mind learning as I go as well, because you're always learning. You're never going to actually be fully, I would have to say, knowledgeable in everything. So you can learn as you go as well.
Yes, I agree. So, did everybody hear that? He helps with websites, logos, social media. Do you want to give everybody your email so
Yes.
you can give them that information? So if
Y-
anybody needs help with, again, can you repeat what you do and then give everybody your emails in case they want to contact you because they do need help with their website or their logo or social media? So
Yes. So my business is called ATISUTO So that's my Instagram page. And also it's the same ATISUTOAV@gmail.com for my email. And when you write me, whether on Instagram or email, just tell me if you need any content, if you need any tips or advice on, maybe you may have a project that you just need some insight in. I am also developing a website in the near future, so it allows me to be able to create a flyer of all the resources or all the things that I do. So that's in development right now as well. But for right now, you can either contact me through email or through Instagram.
that is beautiful. That is, and you do great work. Yes, you do great work, which is good because a lot of people need their websites redone, refurbished. That's that helps with your branding too.
Yes.
To change it up, to especially if you've been having the same website for 6 7 years. Sometimes you do want to change around things and do that. So that is great things. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you think you want to talk about, or before we jump off here, is there anything special that you want to mention, or anybody, or
So it's two things I want to add. One, my slogan for my business is that your canvas awaits. So I always have an open mind, and I always feel when it comes to people, your goals and dreams is always there until somebody is able to create it and building a bridge. So having that faith or belief, or just having that consistency of just following through, whether you actually have support in your own personal life or not, follow your goals and dreams. Life is too short. There's a lot of people that wasn't able to tap into their true potential. And another thing I want to add on to that as well is you have to, for me, hold yourself accountable. Don't talk about certain things in your life and your actions doesn't match up to it. Presentation, for me, is everything. And I was told this when I was back in middle school. You never know who's watching, you never know who's listening. So you have to kind of stay grounded on who you are, but you also have to be truthful and be honest. Don't sit back and try to portray something that you're not, because sooner or later that's going to come out into the light. And the biggest thing that I also want to add is finding your identity. I think that's one of the biggest things that we struggle with nowadays is people don't know who they are. They can tap into everything else. And some of the things that they support doesn't support them in return. So find your identity. And I think that that's one step closer of finding your hidden talent and tapping into something that's going to actually make you happy in life.
yeah, pretty much is to thyself be true, right? To self is
Yeah.
is what you're talking about. It's to self, period. And there is such a thing as accountability, everybody. There really is. um and to ignore accountability is not good either. Well, I want to thank you for coming on here and talking about yourself, talking about helping build websites. Everybody, don't forget that you can get a hold of him on Instagram. And just thank you for coming over here too. And again, thank PR Connections. Thank you, Dana, for all you do for Evelyn's Roundtable. And again, everybody, go on www.nevadawit.org for our website, and you can reach us at info@nevadawit. That's info@nevada spelled out WIT. And go on the website, like I said, and check out what we do. We help women get in the trades. And again, thank you, David, for coming on here, and enjoy your evening. And again, as we always say, our mission statement is to empower all women, to rise as we hold hands.
Thank you.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.